On 26 February 2026, SEBI released a groundbreaking circular that changes the one aspect of daily life that we all use, social media. This circular will fully change how your feed looks from now on because SEBI has prescribed detailed guidelines for each and every entity regulated by SEBI. In this video, we will be going into the details of the circular and what exactly you as a SEBI regulated entity are supposed to do. So let's dive right in. Hi everyone, I am Parth from Navigate AIF and we are a legal tech company on a mission to transform complex SEBI regulations into actual actionable insights that you can use to make your entity smarter and compliant. So let's dive into the circular. Let us begin by actually reading the circular to understand the nitty-gritties of what SEBI has said. So this circular actually applies to each and every entity that is regulated by SEBI. See, they've even listed the names of everyone like stockbrokers, DPs, RTAs, and in the end even said all persons regulated by the board. So covers every entity regulated by SEBI. SEBI has even given a background into why this was actually introduced, and the rationale is very justified, right? Like they have said that with the rapid increase in the use and acceptance of social media, there is a need to distinguish the contents that are uploaded by regulated entities versus those that are uploaded by unregistered intermediaries. We have seen a rise in fake platforms. There was even fake stock market apps that were created to scam people. In fact, another superb initiative that was launched by SEBI on this exact thing is that on the Google Play Store now, when you go for stock trading apps that are regulated by SEBI, you will see a verified badge. And when you see the verified badge, you can click on it and it will tell you that this app is regulated by SEBI and it's the app from a SEBI registered intermediary. This can help people identify fake stockbroking apps and avoid those. So definitely a very good initiative and something that needs to be done. So the idea is that they want to distinguish the contents that are uploaded by regulated entities versus unregistered persons. And the idea is to enable the investor to identify that the content on the SMP is uploaded by a SEBI regulated entity or his agent, thereby ensuring ease of investments for investors in the securities market. One feedback from my end when initially SEBI had released even the consultation paper on this was that while the initiative is noble, there may be players who may have malicious intentions, who may try to use registered intermediary names that they are not actually registered, but they may try to say that they are. And there is no verification link on the SI portal or on the SEBI website to see if this social media handle is actually linked to a SEBI registered intermediary or not. So that is also something we should think about solving. But moving on, for the purpose of the circular, SEBI has said that persons regulated by the board, the last point that I showed you there, shall have the same meaning as defined under Chapter 3A of Explanation 1 of Regulation 16A of Intermediaries Regulations. If we open the Intermediaries Regulation, we will see that SEBI has clearly defined the term persons regulated by the board. And this actually means a person registered by the board under Section 12 of the Act, an asset management company of a mutual fund registered with the board, investment manager of an alternative investment fund or infrastructure investment fund registered with the board, or manager of real estate investment trust registered with the board. So they have even defined what persons regulated by the board means. Next, content itself has been defined under the circular to mean content which relates to the securities market uploaded on SMPs, that is social media platforms, includes content or videos. So content is essentially very broad, then would include posts, blogs, podcasts, etc. Anything that is social media, that is uploaded on social media, and also videos that are published, broadcasted, uploaded or posted on any SMP, any social media platform, whether in closed groups or publicly available groups. So even covers closed WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups or such chat groups that are there, like YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Threads, Telegram, Reddit, everything. So essentially covers each and every type of content that you upload on any social media platform. In order to strengthen the conduct of regulated entities, increase transparency in the securities market, it has been decided shall ensure compliance with the following with respect to uploading or posting content on SMPs. So now exactly what do they have to do? So first is, what is this term agents that they are saying? Regulated entities and their agents. Agent means the distributors or folks who are selling these financial products to investors. They are classified as agents, right? So mutual fund distributors of PMS, etc. both of these shall prominently disclose their registered name and registration number on the homepage of the social media handles, as well as at the beginning of each of the videos or content which relate to the securities market uploaded by them. So any video or content that they upload, at the beginning of this, they have to prominently disclose their registered name and registration number. Now SEBI has gone into greater detail. For regulated entities, in case of an entity having a single registration with SEBI, so if you're having only one registration certificate from SEBI, then the SEBI registered name and registration number shall be stated on the home page near the name of the social media handle on the SMP which is being used. So social media handle of the social media platform which is being used for hosting, broadcasting, publishing, uploading, posting contents relating to the securities market, as well as in the beginning of each video, content, shorts, etc. uploaded by them on the handle. So two places you are going to upload this. One, on your home page, like a profile page, etc., which you create on the social media platform. On that, you will have to upload a registered name and registration number. This is the social media place that is used for hosting, broadcasting content. And second, in each content also, at the beginning of the content, you have to add the name and registered number. Both of these have to be added. Second, in case of an entity having multiple registration with SEBI, so if you are having multiple SEBI registration certificates, then on the homepage of their handles, a web link to the website of the registered intermediary listing all the SEBI registered names and registration numbers shall be provided. And in the beginning of each video or content uploaded by the entity, SEBI registered name and registration number of the entity in the capacity in which it is hosting, broadcasting, publishing, uploading or posting the video content is to be disclosed. So this is very difficult because in the beginning of each content for an entity having multiple registration, you have to make sure that you have to include the name of the entity in the capacity of which you are posting this. So if you are posting certain content that relates to one entity that you have or relating to that particular business, then you have to put that entity's name. This may be more complicated in case the post relates to multiple entities that you have. Then you would have to perhaps choose or put the names of all the entities that are relevant there at the beginning of the content. So what I would strongly recommend all compliance officers and all the regular entities to do would be to put in place a social media policy now, because the circular has come in and it has given very detailed guidelines on how you have to post content, what you have to put on your handles. A social media policy would be very helpful to ensure that your team can comply with this. What I thought to do in this video is to actually show you real life examples to see how folks in the market have actually complied with this. So we can go to the social media page of Zerodha, on a LinkedIn page of Zerodha. You can see here on their home page only they have put their SEBI registered number. So Zerodha currently has one registration certificate as they put one registration number. And when we go to the page of Grow, which is another stockbroker, you can see that they have actually put a SEBI registration link. And when you open this link, it actually takes you to this page, which is again on the Grow website. And on this page, you can see that Grow has put the names of all the licenses and the SEBI registered number of these licenses. So this very clearly complies with the circular that SEBI has prescribed, and they have put this on the social media page. You can see that Zerodha has done this on X as well, and Grow also has done this on X. And I'm sure they would be doing it on other social media platforms as well. So this is something you can use as an example to see how you can also comply with the SEBI requirement. Now what about in case of agents? So in case of agents of a SEBI regulated entity having a single registration as an agent related to securities market, so the agent itself is also registered. In case of such agents, this could also be authorized participants, distributors, etc. The SEBI registered name and registration number of the principal entity. Principal entity means the product, the SEBI regulated entity whose product the agent is selling. So this could be the mutual fund or the PMS, etc. that the agent is actually distributing. That name has to be provided, followed by the agent's own registered name and registration number shall be stated on the home page near the name of the social media handle, as well as at the beginning of each video or content uploaded by it. And in case of agent of a SEBI regulated entity having multiple registrations, wherein the agent itself is also having multiple registrations, then on the home page, again same as the regular entity, on the home page of their handles, a web link directing to the website of the agent listing the SEBI registration names and registration numbers of the principal entities, followed by its own registered names and registration numbers, and the capacities in which it is registered shall be provided. And in the beginning of each video or content uploaded by the agent, SEBI registered name and registration number of the principal entity to whom the content relates, followed by its own registered name and registration number shall be disclosed. So very detailed guidelines, and super difficult actually I think for agents, because they may have lot of principal entities that they are actually distributing. And you can see that SEBI has even given exact examples. So while we understood what has to be done in case of the regulated entity, and you can look at this matrix as well, where they have said what regulated entities that have single registrations have to do. So they have to disclose on their homepage. Everybody has to disclose on the homepage, and disclosure in the beginning of content for all regulated entities having multiple registration only of relevant entities, and agents of regulated entities having multiple registration again only of relevant entities. One thing to note, something very important, is that agents having multiple registrations, and for agents they have to make sure that their web link on their homepage lists all the SEBI registration names and numbers of all the principal entities. So if you're a mutual fund distributor selling 100 funds, you would have to put 100 funds names there and registration numbers, followed by their own registered names and registration number and the capacities in which it is registered. So this is super detailed, and this exercise has to be done. Let's understand what the deadline for this is. The provision of the circular shall come into effect from May 1, 2026 for all contents uploaded on or after the effective date. So anything that you upload after May 1, this circular applies. Finally, I would like to share my opinion on this circular. So while I do think that the circular is super well intentioned, I think there may be some ramifications which we need to consider. Firstly is that for entities that are having multiple registrations, complying with this is super challenging, because before every content, if you have to put the registration name and number, you may actually breach the content limit of posts. So on social media platforms, every post has a content limit beyond which you cannot write. So if you're using up that on the registration name and number, you may not actually be able to write what you want. So that could be super challenging. And next thing is that there is still a chance that fake intermediaries or malicious actors may try to imitate a regulated intermediary, use a registration name and use a registration number, or make up a fake registration name and number and try to fool retail investors. And it remains to be seen if social media platforms actually take action on such people, and whether SEBI may publish takedown notices, etc. for them. Lastly, I do think that market may be looking to see how bigger players that are having multiple registrations comply with this, and I would strongly advise entities to put in place social media policy to see how they would exactly comply with this circular. Do add a page on a website if you haven't done already and you're having multiple SEBI registrations. If you have any comments and you have any thoughts on how intermediaries can comply with this SEBI circular, do drop them in the comment box below, and stay tuned for more updates.